a broad walk. This is not preaching that people like to hear. But I've had a hard time. I didn't want to preach this message this morning. But I believe some people needs to understand what God requires of us. You see, a lot of times we think that there's really not, may I say, there's really not a required walk. The narrow gate and the narrow walk, the narrow path, equals the drinking of the cup. Can I talk to you? I'm going to say that again where you can grab this. The narrow gate and the narrow walk, or the narrow path, or the narrow way, equals the cup. When Jesus was at the Garden of Gethsemane, because of the narrow walk, he had to say, Father, not my will, but thine. There was an encounter that the narrow walk or the narrow path will bring that no other encounter brings. They'll never, can I tell you something? There is a cup that you'll drink in this narrow walk with God that will bring glory in every area of your life later on. Now I want you to see something. We always want the blessings of God, and the blessings of God are preached today. Matter of fact, that's always preached, just about. You go anywhere, and it's, you know, I'm a prophet, and I'm going to pray. I turned the channels this morning on one. I thought, what in the world are you doing? I want the blessings of God. But can I tell you, there is a cup that you'll drink of in your narrow walk that sometimes won't be good. But it leads to life everlasting. Do you know why broad is so easy to walk in? Because you don't talk about the cup. You see, it's easy for me to preach that you're going to be blessed in every way. This is a broad teaching. This is a false prophecy. This is a false prophet. There is the blessings of God, and you will walk in them. But I'm going to stand and tell you there is a cup that you'll have to drink of in the narrow walk. There's a cup that you'll have to drink of in the narrow walk. The Word tells me, let's go to Romans chapter 12. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy. That word, take that out now, because that's in the narrow walk. It's not in the broad walk. Holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service, Paul said. This holy walk that Paul's talking about right here is a walk in the narrow way, because, you see, it's so easy today to just do whatever we want to do. But can I tell you right now, that it's not the narrow way? You see, people may not like this message, but I'm going to tell you something. When I stand before God, you'll have to say, I told you. It's not good enough to just do what you want to do anymore. It's good enough to be able to say, okay, Lord, not my will, but thine. When I went to I don't even remember which class reunion it was. Lord, it seemed like it was. Now this is going to sound bad. It seems to me like it was my 25th, was it? Now it's bad when you can't remember. It's been so long ago. And it was a 25th. And because of my change, when I met Christ, 4 or 5 of the men that was in my class are now preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. And they told me that day, I didn't know. 4 or 5 out of my class are preaching the gospel, still preaching it today. Me and one of my best friends was called into the ministry at the same time. Do any of y'all know Archie Poole? Me and him, as soon as we got saved and called into the ministry, recognized our calling at 16 years old, sat under the pine trees out there in the baseball field, or out there beside the baseball field, studying the Word of God. Can I ask you, have you had an encounter with God? Because if you've had an encounter, understand something. I know one reason this word is being preached this morning, because it'll be on the internet. It won't just be right here. I'm not just preaching to my church or bringing a word to the church. I'm bringing a word to the church that is outside the doors right here. There's going to be many people that are going to hear this message and examine their life and say, you know, I thought I was saved, but you know, I love doing these things right here, and they're of the world. And we need to understand that if we are walking a narrow way and we've entered at a narrow gate, then we must love the things of God and hate the things that God hates. There's a cup, though, in this that we'll drink of, and this is why people don't want it. They would rather have the broad way, because the cup of submission, the cup of submission unto God, is in the narrow way. Oh, I'll do anything you want to do, Lord, but don't send me there. I'll do anything you want me to do, Lord, but I really don't want to do this. That's not a cup of submission. Now, a cup of submission is in the narrow way. This message walked on me first. It was so hard on me, I figured I need to pass this on. Because you see, I see some things where I fell short many times. Some things that I really like and I shouldn't like. I told the Lord this morning, I said, on some things that I have thought and liked, God hates. And I said, Lord, make me hate that. You don't like it, make me hate it. God, you like holiness. I want to like God, you are holy. I want to be holy. Lord, if my desire is to enjoy that you have